Thank you for staying with us on the program. I have with me a former national president of Nigerian Economic Society and a professor of economics, Michael Bada. Many thanks for joining me on the program.
Thank you very much,
I think there couldn't have been a better time to have you than at this time when we are told Nigeria is out of recession. And that news, by the way, came with, if you will, a cocktail of reactions. You are a professor, you have followed economic development in this country and beyond for at least 40 straight years. How much of sense do you make of it?
Well, when an economy is said to be in recession, there are a number of indicators that are looked at to see if the economy is really in recession, and again, if the economy is said to be out of recession, then definitely you also look at those same indicators. An economy is in recession when there is a general decline in economic activities, across sectors, of the economy. And if economic activities decline, it means that the production of goods and services is also adversely affected, such that rather than the totality of output of goods and services produced in an economy in a year, which is reflected in the gross domestic product, instead of increasing, which will give rise to what we call economic growth, then such a gross domestic product reduces in value.
Right.
I think that was what was experienced in the first quarter of last year, and it continued in the second quarter up to the fourth quarter of last year, implying that rather than growing, national output was actually reducing, and so the growth rates were negative, and so the economy definitely was in recession.
It's very good we made something of importance out of this, or at least put it in the right context, because in April this year there was also a piece of story all over print media saying that Nigeria had survived the recession. If that piece of news was anything to go by, what difference are we going to strike between April and September 2017?
I think what that news item indicated was really that there were signs that the Nigerian economy was moving out of recession, and that was born out of the fact that certain indicators pointed in a positive direction. For example, the growth rate of national output, that's the rate of increase or decrease of national output in the first quarter preceding the April news item, showed a significant improvement over the growth rates in the previous 3 quarters, that is to say, of 2016. In all those quarters, the economic growth rate was negative by more than 1 percentage point. In fact, in some cases, 2.something%. But in January this year, the economic growth rate, though was still negative, but showed significant improvement over the previous 3 quarters of 2016, in the sense that it recorded a negative growth rate of 0.73%, but which was later revised by the National Bureau of Statistics, to 0.91%. That shows that certain sectors of the economy were beginning to recover, and they were recording increases in output rather than decreases. Sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, and a few others, they had begun to show positive growth rates. And in the second quarter, even a number of sectors that had reported negative growth rates in the first quarter, some of them had now reported positive growth rates in the second quarter. So we now have cumulatively in the second quarter of the year a growth rate of 0.55%. That's positive. It means that aggregate national output actually increased between Q1 and Q2 of 2017. That is the kind of good news. It's a sign that the economy is moving out of recession or has moved out of recession. But that growth is still relatively fragile in the sense that the policies will need to be sustained, some vigorously pursued, to actually lift the economy to such a situation whereby the growth rate is more than 2, 3, 4, 5%.
I'm not surprised when you say the growth is sort of fragile, because even the federal government has said that it is cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Be that as it may, in a situation like this, it's only natural that people, like yourself in particular, want to make sense of all the nonsense. But I guess in the bid to achieve that, the chief executive of the National Bureau of Statistics, which you alluded to a while ago, said in the course of the week that one of the reasons Nigerians have not felt the impact of the, as it were, exits from recession is the fact that we are dependent still on oil. And he said that 42 economic activities were used as a gauge to determine the amount of growth that the country has accomplished. And he said 21 of those economic activities hadn't done very well. Chief amongst them was manufacturing. It will appear that we're distracted by oil. Maybe that's the reason we're not paying attention, or at least so much of attention to manufacturing in this country, which of course, by the way, as you know, it's critical to economic growth everywhere in the world. Are we distracted really by oil?
Well, definitely oil has been a distraction all these years, to the extent that because oil provided cheap source of foreign exchange earnings and government revenue, the policy makers tended not to, focus serious attention on the other sectors of the economy. And to that extent, oil became the in thing, as it were. Everybody who was in a position to was looking for various opportunities to partake from the economic rent from oil. So to the extent that oil was available, and because governance was poor or has been poor, and the oil resources had not been managed very well in such a way to use the proceeds to diversify the economy, build good and sustainable infrastructure, to provide the enabling environment for manufacturing, for small and medium enterprises to grow, and definitely to that extent, oil has been a kind of distraction. And perhaps that is the reason why, some people actually feel that it would be better for Nigeria if the oil wells dry up. Then perhaps the policy makers will then put on their thinking caps, and then will begin to devise ways of making the economy grow without oil. In other words, we should be thinking of the situation of the Nigerian economy beyond oil.
Having said that, now you're sounding like the vice president, because time and again in recent times he has said that Nigeria should begin to think about a country that doesn't depend on oil.
Yeah.
Granted that the oil wells may not literally dry off, but even if we say there's going to be a shift away from oil, what exactly should Nigeria as a country, as an economy, and as a people be looking at as, if you will, a contingency to sustain and grow the economy?
If oil
With the dry up, exactly,
or the demand for oil
drops,
drops very significantly, which is very likely.
Yes.
In fact, the pundits have indicated that not long from now, alternatives to oil will be the major sources of power in the industrialized world.
Right.
And they're even looking beyond shale oil. And so, if that is the case, then governance is critical. We are still earning some money from oil now. Luckily, the crude oil market has firmed up in recent months, that the crude oil price per barrel it's a little below $50 per barrel now. And we can still make some money and use the money wisely to try to transform agriculture to make it very productive. As at now, our own agriculture, in our own agriculture, the productivity is very low, in the sense that the output per hectare or the quantity of milk you get from livestock, they are very low compared to what you get in the other parts of the world. Once agriculture is very productive, that means then that the economy can produce as much as possible using less of inputs and resources, then definitely we'll be able to diversify the economy. Labor would move from agriculture to manufacturing.
Right.
And then let's use oil money too to provide solid infrastructure. The key among these ones is power, which is the engine, for driving the manufacturing sector, the small and medium enterprises. But that sadly is not available as of today. Perhaps that is one of the reasons why manufacturing is not contributing as expected to the gross domestic product. And agriculture is contributing relatively much more than manufacturing. But the good news for this recession is that manufacturing sector appeared to have revived. It's showing positive growth, but the quantum of output and productivity is still very low. And so it will be important that policy shifts emphasis to let us manage the oil resources well by using the proceeds to provide the basic requirements to make the other sectors productive, so that even when oil dries up, or if it doesn't dry up and the demand for it from the rest of the world is low, the Nigerian economy can still move on. Then we'll still get exportable goods from the manufacturing sector and maybe processed goods from the agricultural sector that can earn foreign exchange for the country. That is what we don't have as of today. And I think that is the kind of focus which our government will need to look into. Let me say this, that the issue of recession is one side of the coin.
Okay.
That the challenge that the Nigerian economy has faced since the first quarter of 2016 is not just recession. It's a phenomenon which economists have described as stagflation.
Stagflation.
Stagflation. A situation whereby recession is coexisting with very high rate of inflation. It's a bit rare. It's not the normal thing. The normal thing is that in a recession, with the decline in economic activities, prices of goods and services also go down. So the inflation rate is low during normal recession. But in our own kind of situation, we had a stagflationary situation. So we are getting out of the recession in the sense that output is growing positively, but the inflation is still there, very high. And that is one reason why perhaps the impact of getting out of recession would not be felt so much by the generality of Nigerian people. Inflation rate is going down, but the latest figures indicate that it is around 16.05%.
Yeah.
That is still very high.
All the way from about 18 that way it
well,
was.
about 18.7
Yes.
is now 16. It shows that we are perhaps in a situation of disinflation. But then in absolute terms, that rate is still very high and making the real incomes of the Nigerian people to be very low and increasing the level of poverty in the country. So we are getting out of recession, but something must be done to deal with the inflation, which is still a bugbear, in the country. Unless that one is dealt with, the generality of the Nigerian people will not feel, too much at ease with the exit from recession that we are now being.
Let's talk a bit more about specifics. I can't, quite frankly, I can't guarantee how much the average viewer is going to take away from today's discussion.
Yeah.
But one thing I sure can be confident about is the fact that somebody wants to know, when it's all said and done, how does this whole thing play out in the overall interests of the average Nigerian who works legitimately day after day? Because if you followed the story in the course of this week, you would have noticed that the chief executive of the Bureau, the National Bureau of Statistics, had said that recession is not so much about unemployment or what have you. Really, if that's what the case, the first question is, what exactly is it about? Then secondly, when it's all said and done, after the smoke clears, and we hope it clears as quickly as possible, at what point will the Nigerian man heave a sigh of relief, at least in the economic sense of it?
Okay. Well, let me say that I do not share the view of the chief executive of the National Bureau of Statistics.
Yes.
To the effect that recession is not about unemployment.
Right.
It is about unemployment. Once economic activities begin to decline, and that means that business enterprises are becoming weak and weak, and economic activities are declining, firms begin to retrench. In such situations, you have closures of firms, and closures will also result in unemployment. And unemployment means lack of purchasing power for the ordinary Nigerians. So a recession is characterized by declining economic activities, reductions in income, aggregate national income, which is the result of reductions in outputs of certain sectors of the economy, and ipso facto, unemployment also increases. So in a situation of recession, unemployment increases, and that is even what the statistics have confirmed in the Nigerian situation. Unemployment, both the aggregate unemployment rate and the youth unemployment rate, which are even calculated by the National Bureau of Statistics, have shot up towards 15-16% now, from perhaps less than 10%, which the same bureau computed 1 or 2 years ago after they revised their methodology. Unemployment rate in Nigeria was as high as 27% in 2014, but the Bureau of Statistics changed the methodology and produced unemployment figures which appear to look so good. But even those figures now have jacked up, which means that during this current recession which we are coming out from, the unemployment rate has gone up, national income has reduced. Normally, like I said, would have expected that purchasing power would be low, and therefore inflation would also go down. But inflation has been very high, and the reason for that high inflation rate, the stagflation, is the triple policy shock that occurred middle of last year. Shock from the foreign exchange market. The exchange rate jacked up very significantly to perhaps, at some point this year, at that time when the market was deregulated, exchange rate went over 300 naira a dollar. And then petroleum product prices were also jacked up to 145 naira. And then electricity tariffs were also jacked up. Those three factors, were coalesced to adversely affect, production, jacked up the cost of production of enterprises, and aggregate goods and services produced reduced that also contributed to the recession. So supply of goods and services reduced. And add to that one the phenomenon of external shock from the oil market, whereby the price collapsed and revenue accruing to the federal government in Naira reduced drastically, and foreign exchange also reduced drastically. So invariably, the ordinary man would feel something good out of the recession, with this kind of recession, if, as the central bank is working day and night now to ensure that the inflation rate goes down through its monetary policy actions. Right. If the inflation rate goes down, then definitely the ordinary person will be happy. And let me say that, that even at that one, ordinarily we would expect that with income increasing, national income increasing, that if things were normal in Nigeria, that many people will be happy. Shares of the income will go to them in one way or the other. But it's not the case in Nigeria, because inequality is very high in Nigeria. The inequality index is nearly 50% in Nigeria, such that as of today, the top 20% of the Nigerian population, have to themselves nearly 60% of the nation's wealth. Then the bottom...
I'm going to have to cut you short at this point. What you just said, by way of rounding off now, seems to strike terror in the heart of anybody who hears that. Really sounds huge, very huge. Incidentally, maybe I should say sadly, that's where we are going to have to end the show today. But I think so far you've been able to help us create a handle on these issues, and then we are beginning to make better sense of it all. As I said earlier, what the average Nigerian man wants to know is, how does this affect me for the better? I mean, having heard that we had been in recession for a little over a year, thereabout. Professor Michael Badam, we're glad to have you on the program today.
Thank you very much, Uyi.
Thank you, and that will be our program for this week. We'll be back here next week, Friday. Blessing Aichi and myself. I'm Uyi Agumofwegbe. Have a big weekend ahead of you.